And the war in Syria has reached a crucial juncture. In the latest, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's flight has reportedly disappeared after news agency Reuters claimed that the president led the country to an undisclosed location. He had fled there. Now, according to flight radar, the cargo plane reportedly carrying Assad disappeared near the city of Homs, though there is no official confirmation of Assad leaving the country and the disappearance of his plane. Furthermore, the Syrian Army Command has said that Assad's regime has come to an end. Meanwhile, Syrian Prime Minister Mohammed al-Julani has said that he is ready to cooperate with any leadership chosen by the people. He also added that he is ready to hand over the government to the opposition.
قيادة يختارها الشعب السوري ونحن مستعدون للتعاون معها بحيث نقدم لهم كل التسهيلات الممكنة وبحيث يتم نقل الملفات الحكومية المختلفة بشكل سلس.
Meanwhile, the rebels claim that they have entered the capital city of Damascus. Several rounds of gunfire was heard in the Al-Midan square, celebrating the capture of the capital city. Furthermore, the rebel forces have announced the start of a new era in Syria after 50 years of Ba'ath rule, asking Syrians abroad to return to free Syria. In addition to this, the rebel group's leader, Abu Muhammad al-Julani, has ordered the forces to not break into any government institutions in Damascus until they are handed over officially by the Prime Minister. Earlier, a Syrian rebel leader has also made claims that its forces have released over 3,500 prisoners from Homs. Now, amidst this chaos and turmoil, the White House said in a statement that U.S. President Joe Biden said that they are closely monitoring the volatile situation in Syria. Meanwhile, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has said that U.S. should not get involved in the Syria war, while Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has said that Syria must not be allowed to fall into the hands of terrorist rebels fighting the forces of Moscow's ally, President Bashar al-Assad. Now, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan had earlier said that the incursions by rebels has spelled a new reality in Syria. Now, he spoke at a city located at just about 3 kilometers away from the Syrian border. The president said that the latest attacks have broken the straw in the camel's back.
Şu hakikati artık herkesin görmesi ve kabul. Arap, Türkmen, Kürt, Alevi, Sünni, Nusayri, Hristiyan ayırt etmeksizin hiç kimsenin dışlanmadığı, kimsenin hak ve özgürlüklerinin çiğnenmediği, zulme uğramadığı, farklı kimliklerin yan yana sulh içinde yaşadığı bir Suriye görmek istiyoruz. İnşallah çok yakın gelecekte böyle bir Suriye'yi göreceğimizi ümit ve temenni ediyoruz.
Meanwhile, United Nations Syrian envoy also called for urgent talks in Geneva for an orderly political transition in the country. He also pressed for de-escalation while also calling the implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 2254.
I have called for urgent political talks in Geneva to implement Security Council Resolution 2254. I'm pleased to say that the ministers and all I'm talking to are backing this call. And my hope is that they will be able to announce a date for this very soon.
And for more on this, we were early joined by Omer Kizlicic. He is a non-resident fellow for the Syria project in the Atlantic Council's Middle East programs. Here's what he said.
So first of all, let's make this very clear. Every state in the world has abandoned this desire of the Syrian people, the Syrian rebels, except for Turkey. And now this Turkish approach pays off. We see that after everyone losing hope that the Syrian rebels will be able to topple the Assad regime, that they have succeeded in this. And now the second biggest winner of what's happening today, after the Syrian people themselves, is Turkey. And Turkey has emancipated itself to be the most influential foreign actor in Syria as of now. Turkey has a huge leverage over the Syrian rebels and the Syrian opposition, and Turkey will use this leverage to help the Syrians to have a more smooth transition into the new era and to avoid potential new security chaos or potential new crises. So Turkey will play here a constructive role. And you should not forget that 3 million Syrian refugees have lived in Turkey. And if we count the ones who lived in Turkey and went to Europe and the ones who lived in Turkey and returned back to Syria already, the number is reaching up to 5 million. And Turkey has protected 5.5 million Syrians inside Syria as well. So approximately half of the Syrians have been protected by Turkey throughout this conflict. And now Turkey is hoping that its interests will be fulfilled. What are these interests of Turkey? First of all, Turkey strongly believes that any government in Syria that is representative of the Syrian people is the best government Turkey can hope for. Secondly, Turkey wants to crush the terrorism threat emanating from Syria. Now there's a real hope for that, and we have seen that the national security of Turkey will be advanced and progressed after today. Lastly, and also very importantly, Turkey wants the Syrian refugees to go back to their homes, to be able to return to their countries. Now, Syrian refugees can return. The way is open, and we will probably see soon a huge return of Syrian refugees, even probably so much that the Turks will begin saying, hey, can you not stay? We need you. You are good people. Can you stay? And there will be a desire to even probably prevent for all Syrians from going back, because these are good people that also Turkey needs. So what's happening now is that the Assad regime, even though has crushed this country, has made the right choice in the last day, in the last hours. If the Assad regime would have fought for the capital of Damascus of Syria and would have destroyed the capital in this fighting, we would have seen another Syria. But by choosing to leave the country or fleeing and opening the way for negotiations and a peaceful surrender between the Syrian rebels and the remaining of the Assad regime, now we have a more smooth transition probably. And the bureaucrats and the technocrats of the Assad regime will probably play a role in this transition period. So by surrendering peacefully, there is now a bigger hope for Syria to end this conflict peacefully and to do not have a spillover, to not have acts of revenge. And especially the Alawite minority in the coastal region of Syria who supported the Assad regime to the last day now have a more secure position with the peaceful surrender. And I can expect that the Syrian rebels will coordinate with the technocrats and bureaucrats of the Assad regime to make this transition as smooth as possible, because they need their capabilities to run a state. Even though the Syrian rebels have shown their capabilities, even though they have the institutions, it's always good to have some technocrats and bureaucrats who knows how things run and who can help in the transition period. So what happened is that the Syrian rebels were hoping for this for years, and it was, in the end, the Turkish green light that enabled all of this. Turkey has tried to reach out to Damascus and convince Damascus for a political solution in Syria, but this failed. After its failure, Turkey gave the rebels the green light, and we see that the Syrian rebels have used this period of time quite carefully and successfully. However, in the end, it was more of the Syrian people than the Syrian rebels themselves who entered Damascus. We have seen that with the collapse of the Assad regime, that people, civilians, have gone into the streets, that they have taken up arms, they have taken control over areas in Damascus, even before the Syrian rebels arriving in the capital of Syria. And this shows that the Assad regime did never have a popular support base that is sustainable. The Assad regime was a weak, hallowing regime. And once people have seen that it's not able to withstand the rebels at once, they have taken matters into their own hand, and the Syrian rebels have still yet to arrive in Damascus. They are very close, but the people inside Damascus have already taken over the city. So the Satnaya prison is a notorious prison for torture, for killing of regime critics. So we know that the Assad regime has used Satnaya not only to torture civilians, but also to silence the opposition. We know that Satnaya is a symbol of the regime's brutality, and releasing the captives there is something good. Because anyone who is in Satnaya should not be in, even if he is a criminal, because the torture, the treatment, and the killing, and the inhuman environment and the inhuman situation there is just not acceptable within, and it's not within human rights. So there is no reason for concern. The main reason for concern is now how the Syrian rebels will manage this post-Assad period, and I think here foreign countries, the Arab states, Turkey, the European Union, the United States, and even Iran and Russia have to play a constructive role to make this as smooth as possible and to avoid potential risks and potential reasons for concern.